Hare Krishna, very dear devotees, welcome back again to our ongoing series on the glories of our most beloved Sri Vrindavan Dham. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pastata Deshatarane. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So we are continuing with our mini-series on stimulation for ecstatic love, and this will be part 32. And for this episode, I have chosen to speak about Krishna's ornaments. So, to begin with, all of Krishna's jewelry and ornaments are completely spiritual. They are actually expansions of his personal energy, and thus they're worshipable. In his purport to Srimad Bhagavatam 2.2.1, Srila Prabhupada writes, the ornaments, flowers, clothing, and all the other decorations on the transcendental body of the personality of Godhead are identical with the body of the Lord. None of them are made of material ingredients, otherwise there would be no chance of the decorating the body of the Lord. Furthermore, Srila Prabhupada writes in his purport to Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila 1238, it's really nice. The Lord's clothing, bedding, slippers, and everything required are all transformation of Shesha Vishnu, the expansion of Sri Baladev. Thus the cloth and other paraphernalia of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are but other forms of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Everything connected to the Lord is worshipable. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructs us that just as Krishna is worshipable, Krishna's place, Vrindavan, is also worshipable. And as Vrindavan is worshipable, similarly, the paraphernalia in Vrindavan, the trees, roads, rivers, everything is worshipable. Now, Srila Jiva Goswami, he says the same in his Bhagavat Sandarbha. There he actually quotes a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 6.8.32, Bhushana Yuja Linga Kya Date Shakti Samayaya. Those who are advanced in spiritual knowledge see unity in diversity. For such advanced persons, the Lord's bodily decorations, his name, his fame, his attributes, forms, and the weapons in his hands are manifestations of the strength of his potency. Srila Jiva Goswami. So, like everything else in the spiritual world, Krishna's ornaments are eternal. They're not fashioned or purchased at some point, like, we may buy jewelry for ourselves or our friends. No. Thus the acharyas say that when it is seen during Krishna's pastimes, 5,000 years ago here on earth, that he dressed in a new ornament, that ornament is actually a part of the eternal spiritual world. And it's merely making its appearance in the pastimes of Krishna in the material world. For example, I was trying to think of an example. When Krishna appeared for the first time in front of Devaki and Vasudeva, he appeared in his four-handed eternal form with a crown. Then, as we know, he showed his two-handed baby form without his crown. So Vasudeva then took Krishna without his crown to Gokula. But the acharyas have written that later, after killing Kamsa, Krishna again accepted the same crown on his head. He accepted the same crown on his head. Thus, we can conclude Krishna's ornaments are all eternal, part of his eternal paraphernalia. And these ornaments appear and disappear according to the need of the Leela at a particular point in time in his pastimes. Isn't that interesting? So, as Krishna's ornaments are not different from him, they can be meditated on. You can meditate on them as a stimuli for awakening our love for him. The Bhagavatam confirms that. The third canto, 28th chapter, text number 28 says, the yogi, the bhakti yogi, should meditate upon Krishna's club, which is named Komodaki, and is very dear to him. This club smashes the demons, who are always inimical soldiers, and is smeared with their blood. One should also concentrate on the nice garland on the neck of the Lord, which is always surrounded by bumblebees, with a nice buzzing sound. And one should meditate upon the pearl necklace on the Lord's neck, which is considered to represent the pure living entities who are always engaged in his service. So many wonderful quotes, authorized quotes from Srimad Bhagavatam and Jiva Goswami, etc. So now, the Sanskrit term for ornament is bhushana. Bhushana. It literally means bhushyate anena. Bhushyate anena. Anything which decorates. It's the translation. Anything which decorates. And of course, such ornaments add to the all-attractive beauty of the Lord. They add to his beauty. However, it's interesting that in the third canto, second chapter, 12th verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam, Uddhava tells Vidura, my dear sir, Krishna's form was most wonderful when he appeared on this planet and exhibited his potency, the potency of his internal energy. His wonderfully attractive form was present during his pastimes on this planet, and by his internal potency, he exhibited his opulences, which are striking to everyone. His personal beauty was so great that there was no necessity for his wearing ornaments on his body. In fact, instead of the ornaments beautifying Krishna, Krishna's beauty enhanced the ornaments. Instead of the ornaments beautifying Krishna, Krishna's beauty enhanced the ornaments. We've discussed this before. Therefore, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila 21, verse 105 says, Bhushinera Bhushana Anga. Ornaments caress his body, but the transcendental body of Krishna is so beautiful that it beautifies the ornaments he wears. Therefore, Krishna's body is said to be the ornament of ornaments. I love that. Therefore, Krishna's body is said to be the ornament of ornaments. All beauty emanates from the Lord. And Srila Bilvamangala Thakura has also written in his Krishna Karnamrita verse 59, his face is the best ornament. Why does he need any other jewelry? Moreover, it has beautiful lips that radiate splendor all around. This massive radiance with its romantic appeal has so many artistic abilities that it is beyond the comprehension of the not so intelligent. This brilliance is extremely amazing. Actually, there are many passages in Vedic literature describing the glorious jewelry and ornaments of Krishna. I was thinking that he's famously known for wearing the Kaustubha gem, which is one of the many exquisite and valuable jewels in his possession. In the Kaliya lake, the Kaliya serpent's wives, in the Jamuna, the Kaliya serpent's wives, they actually gave this Kaustubha jewel to the Lord with their own hands. And many Shastric verses describe Krishna dressed in a golden yellow cloth and draped in the finest imaginable necklaces. He wears coverings on his ears, karna patras they're called. He has swaying earrings, jimki they're called, bracelets, crowns, he wears crowns, mukuts, sandals, paduka. He wears clips, braid clips, how do you say, clips in his hair called nagar. So many decorations like that. For example, for his protection, Mother Yasoda placed on Krishna's arm an amulet studded with 9 jewels. And his 2 armlets, he wears armlets sometimes, Krishna, they're called Rangada. His 2 bracelets, part of his ornaments, are named Shobhana. His signet ring. He has a signet ring called Ratnamukhi. And those yellow garments are named Nigama Shobhana. Nigama Shobhana. What else? Krishna's string of small bells is called Kailash Hankara. Kailash Hankara. And his two anklets are called Hamsha Gunjana. And it's described the tinkling sounds of these ornaments enchant the deer that are the minds of the deer-eyed gopis. What else? Well, Krishna's pearl necklace is named Taravali, and his jeweled necklace is named Tadip Prabha. And the locket he wears on his chest is named Hridaya Modana. And within that locket, I was reading, there's a picture of Srimati Radharani. You know, people they wear these little lockets. They have a wife or the husband or a friend or something. Krishna's Hridaya Modana has a picture of Srimati Radharani. And Krishna's shark-shaped earrings, more of his ornaments are named Ratira Gadi Daivata. Ratira Gadi Daivata. And his crown is named Ratnapara. And its crest jewel, it means the biggest jewel in the crown, is called Chamara Damari. Chamara Damari. And Krishna's peacock feather is named Navaratna Vidamba. He also has another ornament, is a Gunja necklace, Gunja, Ragavali. And his tilak markings are named Jushti Mohana. These are beautiful names. You could even give them, spiritual master could give them at initiation. And Krishna's garland of forest flowers and leaves, it's also considered part of his ornaments, which reach down to his feet and contain flowers of 5 different colors, is called Vaijayanti. Vaijayanti. So next week, in Krishna's Ornaments Part 2, we'll discuss a number of these items in detail. But before concluding today, I'd like to mention that devotees can wear some of these items we've mentioned in the form of paraphernalia used by the deity of Krishna, the deity of the Lord, for purification. In other words, at some point the pujaris, the clothes are getting a little old, they can distribute them to the assembled devotees, or they can give the Lord's garlands away. As Krishna wears these ornaments for our purification as a stimuli for developing love for the Lord, devotees can also wear these things. In this regard, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.2.2.16 Rupa Goswami quotes a verse from Skanda Purana. Krishna tirnam tu nirmalya yashyangam shbi shate mune sarva rogashtata pyr muktu bhavati narada. Beautiful verse. O Narada, wherever the nirmalya, remnants like garlands, etc., taken from Krishna's deity, touch the body of an individual, they become free from all diseases and sins. Wow. And Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu also quotes Srimad Bhagavatam 11.6.46, where Sri Uddhava, he says, Twayo prakta Sri Gandha Vasho Lankara Karchita Uchishta Bhojano Dhasyash Tavamayam Yamenahi. Simply by decorating ourselves with the garlands, fragrant oils, clothes, and ornaments that you have already enjoyed, and by eating the remnants of your meals, we, your servants, Krishna, will indeed conquer your illusory energy. Wow, I'm going to repeat that one again. Simply by decorating ourselves with the garlands, fragrant oils, clothes, and ornaments that you have already enjoyed, and by eating the remnants of your meals, we, your servants, Krishna, will indeed conquer your illusory energy. Wow. We know that's the case, taking prasadam, but I don't know if all devotees know that by wearing the garlands we become purified. Or if we get some apparel of the Lord, we can wear. Now, while serving the Lord in Dwarka, Uddhava himself many times received the Lord's used garments, garlands, and ornaments. He would get these things. Krishna would give them to him. Garments, garlands, and ornaments. And he honored that prasadam. Remember, prasadam just doesn't mean what we eat. Prasadam actually means mercy. He honored that prasadam, that mercy, and wore those clothes and garments with deep gratitude, which acted as a stimuli in his own love for Krishna. Because these are perfected devotees, but the beauty of bhakti is that love is going on forever. It just increases. It's never stagnant. Love for Krishna grows and grows infinitely. This is the beauty of the spiritual. You can just imagine. We don't experience that here in this world. But there it just goes on, growing and growing. So Uddhava, his love for Krishna is increased by wearing these different paraphernalias. So at one point, Krishna sent Uddhava to Vrindavan, as we know, with messages for the Brajabasis to console them in their feelings of vipralampa bhav, or separation from him. So soon after Uddhava arrived in Vrindavan, the gopis saw him in his chariot. And they initially mistook him for Krishna, because he looks very much like Krishna. Even his body color is identical with Krishna. And particularly because he was wearing the Lord's ornaments, his clothes and ornaments. So actually the Bhagavatam describes in 10:47 verses 1 and 2, it describes it better than I can. The young women of Braj became astonished upon seeing Lord Krishna's servant, who had long arms, whose eyes resembled a newly grown lotus, who wore a yellow garment and a lotus garland, and whose lotus-like face glowed with brightly polished earrings. "Who is this handsome man?" the gopis asked. "Where has he come from, and whom does he serve? He's wearing Krishna's clothes and ornaments." Saying this, the gopis eagerly crowded around Uddhava, whose shelter was the lotus feet of Lord Uttamashloka Shri Krishna. So there's the perfect description. When Uddhava arrived, this is what the gopis said. So they went on, they told Uddhava, "We understand that you are the confidential servant of Krishna, and you have come here on his order." So thus, we can conclude that by honoring the clothes and ornaments of the Lord, Uddhava was able to gain the recognition and association of the gopis. And by their blessings, his attraction again for the Lord increased. So as Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu states, there are unlimited benefits from wearing remnants of clothes and ornaments. We can conquer over the illusory energy, as the Bhagavatam described, and those clothes, those ornaments are listed as a stimuli for developing ecstatic love for the Lord. And where do we get them? We get them from the deities, our deities, which are not different than the Lord. Hare Krishna. So, a little short today, but I'm just going up to the Baltic Sea coast. It's the beginning of our 32nd summer tour on the coast up there, our Festival of India. All the devotees are waiting. Our first program's in a couple of days, so I have to get up and help get everything ready for this huge yajna. It's 32nd year we're doing this. So made a little bit short today, but we'll finish with a quote from Teachings of Lord Chaitanya, chapter 10. That's entitled, The Beauty of Krishna. A wonderful ending. "The pearls of the necklace which hang about the neck of Lord Krishna are as white as ducks, and the peacock feather which decorates Krishna's head is colored like a rainbow. His yellow garment is like lightning in the sky, and Krishna himself is like the newly arrived clouds. The gopis are like footbells on his feet, and when the cloud pours rain on the grains in the field, it appears that Krishna is nourishing the hearts of the gopis by calling down his pastime, rain of mercy." His pastime, rain of mercy. Hare Krishna. Teachings of Lord Chaitanya ki. And it continues. "Indeed, ducks fly in the sky during the rainy season, and rainbows can also be seen at that time. Krishna freely moves amongst his friends as a cowherd boy in Vrindavan, and when he plays his flute, all living creatures mobile and immobile, become overwhelmed with ecstasy. They quiver and tears flow from their eyes. Of its various opulences, conjugal love is the summit. He is the master of all riches, all strength, all fame, all beauty, all knowledge, and renunciation. And out of this, his perfect beauty is his conjugal attraction. The form of Krishna, the conjugal beauty, is eternally existent in Krishna alone, whereas his other opulences are present in his Narayan form. A nice meditation on Krishna's ornaments. So thank you, Prabhus. Please give us your blessings that we can please Srila Prabhupada with another festival of India. Indi, they say in Polish, along the Baltic Sea coast. Yes, every year we get 6 days a week for 2 months. We average between 2,000 and 5,000 people a night, and we give them a real Krishna conscious experience. As Prabhupada said, we will take the world over by culture. So we're doing our best here in Eastern Europe. But I will continue somehow or other to give these classes every Friday. So all glories to Prabhupada. Shishi Gauranitai ki, Shishi Krishna Balaram ki, Shishi Radhashama Sundar ki, Brindavaneshwari Shrimati Radharani ki, Mayapur Dhama ki, Shishi Gauranitai ki, Shri Krishna Sankirtan Yagya ki, Nitai Gaur Pimanandi, Jai Jai Sisi Radhe Sham. Glories to Prabhupada.